Oh, I think we did the prayer first.
Stand. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, and we just ask you, Lord, to guide us and direct us in the decisions that we make. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Roll call, please.
Curtis Snell,
Here.
Frankie Hargis,
Present.
Jack Baker,
Here.
Joe Bird, Juliet Coates,
Here.
Jody Fishinghop,
Here.
Janelle Fulbright,
Present.
Don Garvin,
On there.
Hannah Glory Jordan, Lee Keener,
Go on.
Dick Lay,
Here.
David Thornton, David Walkingstick, Kara Cowan Watts,
Ani.
John Masters.
No.
We do have a quorum.
Here.
I'd like to make a motion to add Councilors Taylor and Buzzer to this committee.
Second.
We got a motion to add two to the committee. Do I hear a vote of yes?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? You're added to the committee. Moving on down to, I need approval of the August 12th.
Make a motion to be
regular session
approved.
Second.
meeting. Jack Baker in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes with approval of the minutes. Moving on down to reports. Management Resources, Bruce Davis.
Good afternoon, council.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Snell, I'm sorry to say we don't have anything to report this month. Can I sit down?
No, do we have any questions of Mr. Davis? Yes?
Shucks.
Let me, Kara, we'll,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Collinsville Food Distribution, are we
Yes,
on
ma'am.
track to finish this month?
We're pretty close. We are. I was visiting with Mr. Keener earlier, and we have pulled out all the stops. We're actually sending some of our people up there to help the contractors out to try to stay on schedule. So we had a meeting on it this morning, so
So are you going to inform us when the ribbon cutting and work with our schedules, or?
yes, and I visited with Mr. Keener, and I was hoping Marshall Ann would be here so we could set a date for that grand opening. So as soon as we find out something, we'll let everyone know.
Perfect, thank
Okay.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Buzzard?
On Kenwood, track 14A, says lease terminated by the Bureau. What's the deal on that, Bruce? Is that,
Can I
yeah,
defer that to Ginger? Track 14.
well, on the report, it says terminated by the BIA. What was the deal on that? And then,
It's not non-payment, please.
but somebody, Cherokee had the lease on it, all right?
Yes, sir. And they didn't pay their lease.
Are we gonna retain that, Bruce, or?
Oh, that's on the table right now, Harley. So we're discussing it to see what usually we hold it, see if they're, and then rebid it out.
And the reason I asked, I think I brought it up here before about buying some cattle.
Okay.
Cherokee Nation had
Sure.
cattle. And I'd still like to see that. I don't know how many, do you know how many acres is on that lease or not?
60?
I think so.
I think it's 60 acres, Harley. Yeah.
The other thing is, the clinic land and Jay, are we starting to put that in trust already?
Yes, sir. I think Ginger's group's working on that, correct? You want to?
I'll address it.
Oh, let Ginger address that. Thank you, Ginger.
We haven't started putting it into trust yet, and we won't until construction is completed on it.
But we are.
We will be,
And the reason I ask, if it was in trust now, I understand that we could probably save some dollars on the material that's going to be used for construction. Is that a long process to put it in trust, Ginger?
It could be, yes. It could be anywhere from 2 to however many years. And actually, David, and I hate to defer it to him, but this might be a question for him. He is working on the clinic site and has attended those meetings.
I've seen emails on the tax exempt stuff that they are keep going towards that.
Okay. But we don't want to wait 2 years, so. construction, so. Okay, as long as we get in trust.
Okay.
Thank you.
Councilman Keener?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I too was going to ask about Collinsville, and we've already discussed it somewhat, but I would reiterate that communication is key,
Okay.
not only with the council people, but the association itself, organization.
And Lee, might I ask, what's the plan? Are we having a big, other than the grand opening, we're going to have a community dinner that night, or do you know do you have something planned other than,
No, we haven't discussed anything.
Okay.
We didn't know one thing when it's going to open, but hopefully the time's running close.
Okay.
So it would be helpful to plan something.
No, we don't have a date yet.
Right.
We've been waiting on power, and they're
Sure.
hoping to have that done this week.
Yeah.
But we usually leave it up to the program to schedule the grand openings and stuff like that.
Well, okay.
We'll stay on it for you.
Okay, thank you. But I guess they felt like they've been in the dark somewhat on what's going on.
the program? Marcia?
No, the
Oh, the community?
organization,
Okay.
yeah, the community.
Okay,
So if you could just send us an email, we'll be sure and relay it to them and
we sure
let them know
will.
what's going on.
Okay,
Thank you, Bruce.
you bet.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilman Garvin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Davis, Mr. Bruce Davis,
Yes, sir.
I want to compliment you on the fantastic job you did on the Veterans Center
Thank you, sir.
from beginning to end.
Thank you, sir. I had some good help, Mr. Garvin. I had some good
Invite
help.
all the veterans to come take a look at it. I know there's a lot of them there at the open house and had a lot of good food and turned out real good.
Yes, sir. We're real proud of it.
I got one question.
Okay?
We're gonna do 5% of something for the art, and what is that number, that X number, 5% of what? I know we put a lot of money into it, and there was already a lot of money in there. So I think technically we're supposed to have 5% of the total cost.
Total cost of the project,
The
that's
whole ball of wax
1%.
1% of construction cost
Is art.
is art.
We're going to far exceed that with the statue and the artwork that we'll be putting in. And Gina, I'm sure she can probably come up with a number.
So it's gonna be more than 1%.
Yes, sir. Far exceed 1%. Yes, sir.
But you did a fantastic job.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations to all your
All right.
troopers that did a good job.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
All the contractors work hard too to get it, where it was at.
When will the artwork be in the statues?
Oh, it's going to be a few months.
No, statues like a year,
But I didn't want
it's
to,
a long time to do statues. Long time.
yeah. That's all right.
We're gonna see some snow before we see the
I
statue.
think so. Yes, sir.
And fall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any more questions for Bruce? Thank you, Mr. Davis.
All right. Thank you.
Moving on down to Real Estate Services, Ginger Brown.
Have my report. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Do we have any questions for Ginger? Yes, Councilman Lay?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On the, what is it, page either 2 or 12, Ginger, on the Chilocco East,
Yes,
can you kind of, they're
the state of Oklahoma has appealed that during their appeal time, and currently the Attorney General's office is responding to that appeal. And so the Attorney General's office is assisting us with that.
were we being taxed on that? Or was it in a tax-free status? Or do you know?
As long as it is in fee, it's going to be taxable.
We've had some land in fee that we've not been taxed on, though, and I didn't know if that was one of
To my knowledge, I believe we still get taxed on that. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any more questions for Ginger? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Moving on down to Environmental Programs, Tom Elkins. And
Tom couldn't be here today. My name is Wayne Isaacs, and I'll be happy to answer any questions in regards to Tom's report or any other questions you may have.
Any questions for Wayne? Yes, Harley.
Wayne, I don't know, how's the landfill going? I haven't been out there since I come on the council, but how's the appearance of it look?
It looks a lot better, a lot better. It's in really sound shape. It looks a lot better. It has in years. Actually, Jackie Woodward from our office, Jackie's out there on a daily basis, and he can give you a better update if you'd like that.
Yes, my name's Jackie Woodward. I inspect the landfill and report to Tom Elkins every day. And the look of the landfill's better than I have ever seen it. They have really done some cleaning out there.
So what else do you inspect? What do you look for when you go out?
I look for cover. I look to make sure that the trash is being covered up, that their water is being sampled and controlled, blowing litter. In general, it's just to look the landfill over and look for any problems, any leachate leaks. They do have some tanks on each side that they've had problems with in the past with leachate leaks, and they're working on getting that taken care of now. They're trying to get permanent power run to their systems.
Are we still taking some of that water out offside?
Yeah, the leachate pond, right now they're pumping, since it is so dry, they're actually spreading that leachate up on the lined areas. Now on wet days, they have to take that material to the Stillwell treatment plant.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Tyler.
This is probably a question for Mr. Isaacs, Mr. Davis, and Miss Ginger back there. Yeah, I see her back there. Can you all give us a list next month of environmentals that are in the process of being requested on properties that we own? Because I know the environmentals are the first step in working towards the trust process. So if you could give us an updated list of what we're in the process of asking for on our land that we own, the environmentals, that'll give us a good idea of where we're headed on some of those properties.
Yes.
Okay.
Certainly. No
All right,
problem.
thank you.
Any more questions? Well, thank you, Mr. Wayne.
Thank you.
Moving on down to the Veterans Center. Bruce Davis. Have more questions for Bruce?
Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bruce. Moving on down to whole business. Like the landfill. We have any questions with the we'll get you twice today. We called you Tom a while ago, so. Do we have any questions? This gentleman? Thank you.
Okay.
Discussion possible action. Tyler, I need some help on that.
Which one?
Number one. Did we table that?
This is, under new business?
No, old business.
Old
Do you
business?
want to table it or pull it?
Do you want to keep it on the agenda? If not, we could just pull it.
We just pull it.
Okay, so under old business, I would make a motion then that we just pull that old business item and unless somebody wants to put it back on at a later time.
Exactly.
Madam Speaker, can I ask a?
Yes.
I'm recalling that we put this on here for this month because Ms. Robinson and her colleague were asking us for a decision about this, about whether what we were gonna do. Is anybody else remembering this?
We
And-
funded them during the budget process, and I think that was what they were wanting. They wanted to make
So
sure.
this is not, okay, so,
And they have been funded now, so,
so we've made the decision that we're
well,
keeping the.
I think we made the
we made our
decision
part.
through the budget process, and then what
Okay.
kind of, they're in the process, or have relayed to me that they were in the process of reviewing some leases for acceptable trash.
Okay,
To
Right.
try to get them going this year.
okay.
And I
Thank
don't
you.
think, I could be wrong, but I don't think they were here today.
No,
Because
they're
they've
not here.
already,
That's what I was wondering.
they've
yeah.
moved on to the next step.
Okay, all right, very good, thank you.
So that's,
So,
you want
yeah.
to go ahead and take that off then?
Take that off.
Okay, so that would
But
be
it
my
can-
motion,
Can be put back on if we.
if someone wants
Right.
to discuss it. Okay.
Second.
So what we're gonna do is pull this off.
Actually, Curtis, you're the sponsor, and he can actually pull it without a motion if you want to.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll just pull this off, so. Then we'll move on down to new business.
You want me to put that in by motion?
Yeah, no, let's pull it off.
You want me to go ahead and,
No, we'll just pull it off.
you want to pull
On the new
number one
business.
off under new business
No,
too?
no. Mm-mm. No. But we'll need to call Mr. Davis up and let him explain it to us.
You want me to put it in the form of a motion so that we can
Okay.
discuss it since you're the sponsor and
You're
you
right.
can't
Yeah,
make a
right.
motion?
Mhm.
Okay, this is a resolution authorizing Cherokee Nation's application for full membership into the Intertribal Buffalo Council, and for purposes of discussion, I would put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
Okay.
Got a motion and a second? All in favor?
Well, do we want to let him discuss it?
Yeah.
Do you need an
We
explanation?
gotta pass this before he,
No, we
No,
open it for
th-
discussion.
then you
The
open it up
motion
for
opens it for
discussion.
discussion.
okay. Bruce, if you would explain this resolution to us.
I'm going to defer that to GV
Okay.
because that's under his department. But before I do that, can I ask a question? Does the council want to have their annual fish fry or hog fry at Kenwood or Delonaghy this year that we always have?
Bruce, we need to, we'd like to set that up to the spring.
In the spring?
Yeah.
That's all we need to know, okay?
If I might,
Sure.
our only concern is October is so full of meetings, and that
Understand?
will be a day that some of them will already be at NCAI.
Okay,
If you would indulge us and maybe,
that's fine.
because we're all going to want a good hog
I
fry
understand.
in early spring.
Okay,
And we'll really probably, it'll be depressing weather, so we'll be interested in seeing it
I
then.
understand. Okay, thank you.
Would that be okay with everyone this year because of NCAI being at Tulsa? That's a major commitment for us, and I assume that most everyone of this body would want to be up there at different times that week.
So we'll have our annual hog fry in the
A little
spring of the
later.
year, or the fish fry, whatever.
Yeah, fish fry, that's, yeah.
Okay, we'll do it February, March. Hey, JV, yes.
Yes, I'm GV
Did you-
Duliger in
GV?
Natural Resources.
Oh,
And,
just one moment.
okay.
Council lady.
We want to have a fish fry or one of those hog fries down at the Salisaw Creek Park sometime instead of just up at Kenwood.
You don't have any other reason why you need to.
That's across the state
Everything I
line.
want, you've got 3 of. Just letting them know we'd like to maybe move it to Delonaghy. It's a little bit closer to us and we hadn't been there before. That's all. I told her you ain't got employees like we got at Delonaghy.
Well, we will,
Hollow.
I can
we
say
will
that
talk about
South
this and decide where we're gonna have it.
We may
By
have more than
spring.
one fish fry.
Yeah, we might have 2 fish fries.
by spring,
Might have one
South
hog
Salt Creek
fry, one
Park
fish fry.
should have all the facilities in and everything should be A number one.
Well, she told us in that meeting, everything you want, I got it by spring.
Yeah.
We can have it at Salisaw Park.
Okay, GV,
Okay.
tell us about our resolution.
I'm here on this resolution and Bruce is the presenter, but to explain it, it's Intertribal Buffalo Council. It's out of North Dakota. It consists of about 53 tribes right now that are members. It costs $500 to join. It has to have full approval of the council to move forward on it. And it allows us as a council member to access Buffalo, to access grants for fencing, for sheds, for loafing sheds, and other entities that might involve the Buffalo. And I think it's a real positive move to move forward on this. And you have a brochure right there. I see you got it right there. That's the brochure. And they have annual meetings and discuss everything about the Buffalo and how to enhance it and how to make it better for each tribe that wants to get into the Buffalo. And it's really been beneficial to several tribes, and I think it'd be an access to us to join and it'd be a good avenue to further ourselves in purchasing and acquiring buffalo. Not purchasing, but acquiring buffalo, because we don't have to pay for them. They will give them to us. We just have to.
The only thing she's wanted to give to me.
Hey, GB.
Yes.
How many new jobs will this create with getting these buffalo?
Well, I think it'll take one to maintain a full-time person there to maintain the buffalo, and it could possibly be two, but it depends on how many buffalo we get.
Yeah.
The talk's been pretty strong, 140 buffalo, and if we don't want to get that many, I don't know.
And what percentage of our time are we putting on trying to research getting these buffalo?
Right now, I'm not putting what I've done is the legwork for it, and then I'm kind of
probably 10% of your time. Probably?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Yes. Councilman Buzzard?
And you just answered one of my questions, GB, but what are some of the other things that other tribes are doing with those buffalo?
Well, they're
Have buffalo burgers.
they're slaughtering them and putting them out, and using the meat in the schools, and especially on the reservations and stuff. And then even going back to the casinos, it's a prime cut of meat. It's the best meat for you health-wise, and so there's a lot of beneficials to it to do it. But we'd have to be set up to do that, and we have access right here in northeastern Oklahoma to the only slaughterhouses that take buffalo, I think around Big Cabin in Miami. And so it's pretty close. It wouldn't be like we'd have to go across the state to do it. So there's some avenues to make it accessible to the Native American people, back to the schools and back to the casinos. And
Thank you.
Any more questions for GB? Yes, Dick.
Go ahead, Dave.
I don't have any questions, but you know where I am on this.
I understand. I understand.
Councilman Lay?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are we going to take cattle country out of production for buffalo?
Right now, the places we're looking at, we would not take cattle. Well, I guess we would access one place out here. It would, they have cattle on it right now, but the other places, the racetrack at Salsaw, to put buffalo down there next to I-40 between the racetrack and there, it's been, that land's between the Interstate 40 and the racetrack right there. There's probably 80 to 100 acres right in there with it, where it's not really done anything with, but stored a lot of stuff in. That right there.
I'm going to have to go on with David on this. I don't, I'd rather run cattle or buy some more property and run the Mustang program. Bruce? I don't know if he's listening.
He's looking.
Thank you, Mr.
Donna?
Is this something that needs to be done this month?
Needs to be done. It has to be in by October 1st to acquire membership for 2014.
And this would just be $500.
$500 one time. What it would do would grant us access to fencing materials. There's a grant out there for $70,000. There's also, I think, startup money for $7,500 that we could replenish that $500 with that $7,500 that we would receive back to start a program up with. And that is from the association that we're joining. So we'd have to apply for both of those grants, and they have led me to believe they're both available to be accessed with the proper paperwork and so on.
I'm sensing, and I kind of feel the same way, GB. I don't care where you put the buffalo as long as you don't put them in Cherokee County.
I understand.
I don't see how we keep them in.
Mm-hmm.
And most of our land, the land that I know about, is right on a major roadway, and I'm not sure that even with the pipe fencing, those guys seem to just roam wherever they want to roam. And I've just kind of privately been asking the different ones, do you want them in your county? I mean, I know there's what the plus side of it is, they're very lean meat, and it's a profitable cut of meat to sell on the market because people are wanting lean. I mean, I understand you even have to add fat to it to, it's just a very lean cut of meat, which is a very positive thing in this day and age. I'm going to go ahead and support it because it's only the $500 and it's the next step at this point in time. But I really have
Reservation.
Yes. Because we don't have a big piece of property in our area, and I think you need a big piece of property. No, I think you need hundreds, thousands of acres.
It's the only thing she ever tried to give to me.
Yeah, but y'all got lots of land.
You guys got 3 times what we have.
Yeah, but I would defer to both you gentlemen to,
Let Bruce speak a little bit.
Okay. This is what I want to say, is that GV and I are both cattlemen, okay? If you'll tell us that we can go buy cattle, we'll drop this that quick, okay? But here's the thing. This $500 is a membership for the council members and the tribe to be a member of this organization. And it has a number of benefits with this membership that grant opportunities, not just through the Buffalo, but other programs that will help us to get our foot in the door on some other projects. So that's why we wanted to be members of this organization, not just for the Buffalo. That is one of the aspects, but there's some other avenues that we could use for the Cherokee Nation as a member of this group. So that's all I was going to say, okay? So it's not just the membership for the Buffalo, okay? So, okay.
and
Council,
if it's still back with me, may I make just one other? That's why I'm willing to go forward, is because that $500 may return 100-fold to us in the form of some sort of grant. But I do want to know, I think it takes a larger piece of land than, because we're cattle people.
Yeah.
And buffalo are not cattle. They're not.
They're going to roam, and they're going to try those fences, and when they get to fighting, I don't believe there's a fence that's going to, retain 2 angry bulls that weigh 2,500 pounds pushing on one another, I think,
But I don't think we should be in the cattle business either at $1,400 a unit right now. I want to go back down to the $400 days. That's when you get into cattle. You don't do that right now. You don't see any regular cattle people buying cattle right now. They're either holding or they're waiting until the market drops, and that's when, well, I don't know, most of us seem to buy at the wrong time, but we're getting better at it.
Right. We got a lot of hay.
Yeah, we do have a lot of hay. Right now, we do have a lot of hay.
I want to report that made 950 bells up there, Dick.
I would suggest let's support the $500 membership to see if it does take us to some grant programs, because we do that a lot. This body does. We have to obtain memberships in certain things so that we are eligible for grants. this does put us in a position, as long as we know exactly what the terms of those grants might be if we're successful.
Council Lady Coates?
Thank you. I'm trying to put my thoughts together, but it all starts with a place that when I was working with sort of national grassroots Indian organizations in the 1990s, as I did for many years, I've never ever forgotten a statement that was made by someone from the Northern Plains and from one of the Lakota tribes, and his statement was that for us the buffalo are our family, they're our relatives, and that there was a great genocide that took place on this continent when the buffalo were slaughtered nearly to the point of extinction. And his comment was that we're bringing the buffalo back, but we do so slowly and we do so gradually because we know that when we take this on, we are taking on responsibility for a creature that we regard as our family, as our relatives. And we only do this when we know that we can protect them, in a way that we were not able to protect them before when this great genocide happened. Now, historically the Cherokees are not a buffalo people like the Plains tribes are necessarily, but I've never forgotten the meaning of that statement. And I think that for every Native American person in this country, whether we have this close sort of relationship with this particular creature or not, we understand the symbolism of it. We understand what it represents just in terms of the parallels with our own experience of genocide, as peoples as well. And so I'm listening to a discussion that is all about economics, and that should be part of it, definitely. But I also think that there is something very, very deeply cultural and historically that resonates for all of us as Native American people as well. And I think we should definitely get into this council. I think that we need to take the attitude of the Lakota man that I am quoting here from the 1990s and say that we do this carefully. We know that we do it in a way that we know that we have a lot to learn from those peoples who do have a long and intimate experience with this very revered animal, and that we do take the time and that we do learn from them, but that we look at this as more than just an economic enterprise for us, that there is a cultural and historical component of it that is very, very important as well. As an economic component, and for some of the things that have been mentioned, I'm excited by some of the initiatives that I think I see beginning to germinate a little bit. I know Dr. Leeds at the University of Arkansas is beginning, Stacy Leeds is beginning some projects in sustainable food development here. And I think that these are there's some exciting sorts of potentials here. And I don't think we can make direct comparisons to cattle, but this is a meat that is very, very, very good for us, in ways that certain others aren't. And I think it would be worthwhile for many reasons, not simply economic, but for health reasons, in a population where we really, really, really need to be heading in more healthy lifestyles and more healthy dietary habits and so forth to think about this. And I say this with my soft drink in front of me and my Cheetos and everything, but we do, And don't want you to think I'm preaching or anything, because I'm as bad as anybody else, but we need to do this. And the other thing, I guess the last thing I would want to say in terms of wanting to locate, where do we locate this animal? It just seems reasonable that we do so in an area that is not only convenient for us, but which is recognizable to it as well. And I would think that those would be perhaps, and my colleagues from the north may disagree with me here, but those more northern areas where there is more of a rolling prairie type of environment, is going to be something that this creature is also going to be much more comfortable in, I think, and familiar with than the more hilly and wooded areas. around here to this region. So those are just my thoughts about it. I just would urge us all to sort of expand our thinking about it beyond simply an economic comparison between buffalo and cattle, and where are we going to put it. There's really, this is to me a phenomenal opportunity, and it's a very touching opportunity in a deep way, to get into relationship with buffalo. I think that just means so much, to Native American people wherever they may be. So I would encourage us entering into this council and then learning. And thank you.
Councilman Byrd.
Sound like everything was said. I agree. For the amount that we're invested in this, maybe there are some opportunities out there that we might be overlooking to be part of this organization. And from the cultural part of it component, I think Dr. Coates explained it very well there. And I support that component. I would like to say, though, before you go and purchase buffalo or we take buffalo, you come back to this council and make us aware of it. Would you please do that?
Oh, I certainly will. Yes, that will be done.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Councilman David Thornton.
Yes, I appreciate what's been said. It's been my experience. Buffalo has been bad. Of course, I saw several things on the Great Yellowstone, and there's been several people attacked up there and killed. The state of Oklahoma tried to incorporate buffalo into the state, and that was back in the 50s. And a good guy named J.C. Germany was the superintendent at that time at Texoma State Park. And I got to know him in the 60s, and he told me at that time, don't ever bring buffalo into any type of grazing here in Oklahoma. They lost a kid up there, and they lost a woman up there, down there. And to me, one life, one of our Cherokee lives, means more than 1,000 buffaloes out there to me. But I look at it different than anybody else would look at it. I'll vote for this, but I'll vote for it because you're not bringing buffalo into the state right now.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason. Thank you.
Councilman Don Garvin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've been around cattle all my life, and they've taken their part of the lives too over the years. But I think this is a good thing to get into. We can learn a lot from the Buffalo Council. I'm interested myself, and I'm going to support it. And I think we can get all of our fences and chutes and everything, and then we decide what we want to do. Use these grants, and I think it'd be profitable for the Cherokee Nation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Donna, you want to?
I think, Curtis, we already have a motion and second.
Do we need to
So
delete
if-
so to vote?
He's given us a pretty quick date, so I would add to that motion, and I think it was my motion that it also go to full council tonight, so that we get him in under the deadline wire.
Full council on that?
If this body votes it in.
Okay, all in favor of this motion, voting in the just join the club, so to speak?
Council.
All in favor of this? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So the motion carries, and we'll have a full council tonight, shall we? And thank you. Moving on down to
May I add one more thing?
announcement. Yes.
The dog and cat clinic this past weekend was a huge success. Vaccination of the dogs.
You get
and
more
cats.
dogs or more cats?
205 dogs, 69 cats.
That's pretty good.
The spay and neuter clinic will be the second, third week of October.
We have any announcements? Make announcements.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Need a got a motion to adjourn here, second?
Second.
All in favor?
All I know is whatever I
Adjourned.
want, Jody has 3 of.
No, she got 6 CNI buildings.
Yeah, he joined in, no, she's got 6 CNI buildings.
I've never heard that before.
And at 10 o'clock, it was only 2 of everything now.
Wait till full meeting tonight.
She'll have 200. Did you do a motion, you need a motion to adjourn?
We did.
Okay.
We voted on it.